way people back then gave validation versus today is completely different. Today, validation comes in the form of likes, comments, back channels, etc. Right? DMs. That's a form of validation. And then also, looking far too long is a form of validation. Today, we understand that there are beautiful women all over the world and all over your community, etc. I think it's about how you go about it. You know what I'm saying? Back then, there was a more of a formality in terms of you greeting and understanding that they are attractive. But today, the way that it's done is over the top.
See, here's where you're wrong at, though. The internet is basically an expanded version of something we've always done. Beautiful women have always been validated in the world. Always. There have always been people. The only difference is that there's now a million more people that can stare at her than what would have happened if there was no internet around. But beautiful women have always been acknowledged by men and women in general. So just because now the internet exists, we have to say, oh man, they don't deserve none of our validation because some yokel on Instagram liked her picture. So now we have to avoid and avert our eyes every time we see a beautiful woman because we like, no, don't want to give her no more validation than she already getting on the internet. Like, come on, man. You're working too hard.
You're missing it because when the guy in the video, he talked about it in the context of being in a marriage, in a relationship. He didn't talk about it as a single man. He talked about it, him being in the presence of his woman out and about among other women. You know what I'm saying? I think you're trying to separate the two, and they're not mutually exclusive. He's talking about how a man conducts himself and how he views other women in the presence of his woman next to him.
But even people who are in relationships still acknowledge beauty. Like it's always been that. Like,
you'd be surprised. Everybody's relationship dynamic is not the same.
I'm not saying that everybody. I'm saying in general.
A really good example.
I'm saying in general. I'm saying in general, we as human beings have always acknowledged beauty. It doesn't, like, all of us recognize, even a lot of us were married or in relationships at the time, and all of us recognize that Halle Berry is one of the most beautiful women on the planet. We've all acknowledged it at a period of time. We've all acknowledged that J-Lo had a nice body, and this, that, and the third. Beautiful women have always been acknowledged, even by people who are in relationships. So, I was just speaking strictly on the part where we were talking about giving validation. Now, what you want to do, if you feel that while you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be looking at other women because it may lead to other things, more power to you. I'm just strictly speaking on us saying, oh man, you don't want to give women validation.
So Sweeney, let me kind of like go into a little bit more detail about like the giving validation to women thing. So like, if you were like a king of a kingdom, or like say like you were like a leader of a country thousands of years ago, or just over the last centuries, women are a dime a dozen. They've always been a dime a dozen. There's like no girl's special. Like they're not worth it at all, even to be looked at. And it's always been that way. And men that are powerful don't even look at them. Like they don't even care. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like a hot girl walks by, it's literally not that big of a deal. If you're a badass and you have a lot going for your life, and you have you have the hottest woman in the kingdom next to you, you really don't give a shit. You realize most of these girls walking around are bottom tier, mid tier, maybe, and there might be a unicorn every 6 months you might see, or every 3 months. But for the most part, these girls with fake BBLs and fake tits and all this makeup and their lips and everything, dude, most of these girls look like clowns, bro.
You saying powerful men don't acknowledge beauty?
Want to look at that. I'm
saying powerful.
We can't do that.
Most
of them had concubines.
Most
of them had concubines and several women.
You don't even give your energy to anything else. You don't even give your energy to anything else when you're powerful. I'm talking about the Stoics, like the Greeks, like the strongest people. They didn't give a shit about people like come on, bro.
The Greeks, them motherfuckers into each other. That's why.
In history, wait.
I'm saying the Stoics, man. That shit did not move. That did not move them.
History, power.
Can we talk about Helena of
several
Troy?
Women? They all had several women. Most of these dudes had concubines and whatever else. They all most powerful men, kings and all. They all had several women or several wives that they would have at their disposal. They never just honed in on one chick. Even if they had a queen, they would still do what it is they wanted to do. Why are we acting like this is not natural? Like, you know how it go. When we're with the peoples, we already know. You know if a dude sees another chick because he experiences temporary paralysis. Like, all you got to do, if you know the dude is in mid-sentence and then he just stopped, like, he'll be like, yeah, man, we was about to go down the street and then, you know, he looking at a female. And then you go look. And then next thing you know, everybody turn their head. We all sitting there like,
hey, Trev,
that's just how it go.
King David went out to Bathsheba when he seen her ass taking a bath up on the rooftop. Come on, man.
Are we sitting here?
Come on, man.
Y'all right.
Never acknowledge beauty. Like,
whenever the
we need to
world's
stop.
going down the street.
Hey, let me go on and go real fast before y'all get really started. Look here, man. I'm gonna validate a woman anytime I get an opportunity, as long as she got a fat ass on her. Y'all kiss my ass. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna look at her. I'm gonna validate her. I'm gonna give her all the praise in the world. Girl, you got a fat ass. Now, I'm not gonna go pursue her. I'm a window shop, but I ain't buying shit. I got what I need. I'm good. But I'm gonna look at that ass as it walks away, and as I walk towards her, and as she keep walking, I'm gonna turn around, tie my shoe, and keep on staring.
I wouldn't even.
Next time I get out, matter of fact, I might go to the bathroom a couple more times just to check out that ass if she's still in the restaurant. I don't give a goddamn.
I wouldn't
so
even
if that's what you call me, hold on, Sweeney. If that's what you call me validating a woman, then so be it. Hinks won't validate a woman. God damn it.
I wouldn't even consider it window shopping. Window shopping implies that you're actually interested in buying. You just can't get it. Just like it's more like seeing a painting on the wall and you just walk past. That's a nice ass painting. Keep it moving. Like the sit here act like men have never acknowledged beauty in a woman is wild to me, especially powerful men. You don't think they notice beauty?
I'm saying they didn't get validation. I'm saying they didn't get validation.
But they look
when
though.
You're powerful, you don't have to give validation. Or like if you have a concubine, if you have a bunch of wives, you don't have to give validation to other women. You got a bunch. Like you're not even I'm saying that like guys that are fully filled don't even see these dimes in a dozen, bro. Like they're invisible already. Like it's like I'm just saying, most guys, unless you're like thirsty,
I've seen some old white men going chasing out these little young girls with them big old ass and big old titties and pretty face. Come on, man, they didn't give a shit. They was enjoying the moment. They felt like they was young again.
I think. So do you think validation and acknowledgement is the same thing? Is that what you think, Purple? Like.
What I'm saying is like whenever the elites are like on a parade and they're like riding through the city in a parade, I'm saying I don't think like you would never see the royal family like one of the guys turn over because there's a hot blonde in the crowd. Like it's just it's not that big of a deal. Like it's not that big of a deal whenever you're somebody that is special. Like I just don't think it's that big of a deal to look at, to give validation to these women. Like it's like a caste system. It's like, dude, like they're under us. Like why would I even look at that girl and let her think that she's pretty to somebody like me when I'm above her? Like that's just the way I see it.